not your swimming and somewhere. No, it's not a sea sports. It's your own sports. Your own activity. I should say. But if you are really in doubt, you can always write here. We can reply to you. The other scenario, this is one of the scenarios. You might have many other scenarios. So yeah. So sometimes some scenarios can be. Sorry, I didn't get it.
I go what is that?
Now, for example, when I go wakeboarding behind my motorboat, is that considered a sea sport? Do you need to have an approval for that?
You might need yes. Yeah, but again, as I said, some of the things, some of the scenario, it all depends. It's not only just one line. What you're going to do, what is the purpose, okay? When do you want to do it? Where is the location? So all these are important.
Can I add to reply the gentleman? Okay, for wakeboarding, there are designated places in Singapore. There are about 7. So you have to refer to the circulars. There are 7 places for wakeboarding. One of them is in Seletar Island. So the other one, if I can remember correctly, is near to Marina. So depending where you put your boat, so you need to go to the nearest designated place for wakeboarding. Okay.
Talking about a car, doing a sample risk assessment plan, the materials are all there. Yeah.
The Scouts. So that's the volunteer part of me. My day job actually is an outdoor education instructor with one of the international schools. So Terence, I would like to have that magic to change the
Oh yes, please.
Yes. Okay, why? Because I almost couldn't make it here today. So part of my job, I have to do a lot of outdoor activities, and yesterday I just came back from Tioman. So on a speedboat, there was a steering failure. So nearing the Mersing jetty, the boat suddenly just veered to the starboard side. It was a sharp 90 degree at 20 knots around that speed. Yeah, so that point, then as soon as it happened, right, the boat went the other way to the port in the next like 1 second or so. So at this point, everybody flew from the starboard side to the port side, including the captain. So the captain flew off his seat. Yeah, so we managed to stop the boat. All right. Okay. So because all of us, this is a work trip. All of us are outdoor education instructors. We are young, fit, or not so young. Okay, maybe fit and energetic. Okay, but if the passenger on board were like elderly, okay, there will be injuries. Yeah, because we all fell, we were all pushed to that side. Okay, we can see the seawater from the window. Alright, there was a point we think that the boat will just capsize. Okay, so my point is, if the captain had worn his cue cord, he would have prevented that second turn, which everybody fell. Yeah. So if I have the power, right, okay, I would like to encourage more people to wear cue cords while they are boating. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jiwang.
I agree that it's for the safety, and I think that it's good if they will be willing to wear. But there's one point that I wanted to list out, which is that you say that in the event that somebody man overboard, the crew can jump into the water. But to me, it's never my crew will jump into the water. Because I come from a diving background, I'm not a pilot, but I go technical diving, I do shipwreck diving, cave diving, rebreather diving, so I do like 78 checks before I even go down with my rebreather. And for us, when we do diving, it's always our own safety first before anyone else.
Yes.
And because of that, I never allow my crew to jump into the water. And even if the guy is drowning, we will try our best to save him from the boat. So I just want to hear from your perspective, what's your take on it? And I mean, this is no right or wrong, right? Everybody has their own choices. And this is what coming from my point of view. Yeah.
Thanks, Colin. So basically, okay, this is a real incident that happened. Okay. So the captain straight away stopped the boat, we assessed the situation. He was floating. We jumped into water after assessing the situation. So here, my point here is we have to assess the situation before we throw ourselves into the danger. Okay, so when we go down, we go with a life buoy because we are not going to hold it. We do not know how heavy it is or what is going to bring us or pull us down. We go down with a life buoy. So there's a lot of things here happen, but I cannot say everything. I don't have time. But yeah, thanks for sharing. We need to assess the situation. I hope this clarifies. Thank you.
I have two questions. One is a point to note, the other one is a question. The first thing, before I go into the question, is I'd like to let all of you know that we are doing an event in Singapore Maritime Gallery. So if you have time, please come by for the next 2 days. It showcase about Singapore maritime history, right? The 2 points. The first one is I had the pleasure of experiencing on the capsized boat behind St. John Island. It was very choppy. We are on an open deck boat, 8 people, supposed to be safety boat for the kayaking event. But we went through this choppy water, and like you say, Eagle, the captain was very happy. He was going. Some water came into the small boat. Everybody is happy because it was splashed. But more water came in later, to the point the bilge pump couldn't pump the water fast enough up from the boat. And the first thing we have to throw is the whole crate of beer. Otherwise, we'll have to save ourselves. So the whole crate of beer and throw into the sea. But still, we capsize. Now, the first question I'd like to ask is, when we capsize, we are drifting in the sea. I'm just sharing with LTC Chia here from Civil Defense. Back then, the Civil Defense doesn't have craft now, I understand, but 7 craft to do rescue in Singapore. Back then, when I had the capsize, we drifted a long time. The ferry came and gone. They stopped, they took picture, and then they waved and and 1 degree 15 pressure craft also did the same thing. They were looking at us, they stopped, we waved, shouted for help, nobody came. Right? We waited for the Coast Guard, and nobody was injured in the capsize. But when the Coast Guard came and rescued us, the same story. The platform is quite high. We couldn't climb on top. Everybody got injured and was bleeding on the knee, the elbow, just trying to get on board the Coast Guard boat because they are not trained to do rescue. So, but I understand now, it's good that Civil Defense now, since 2012, have this rescue boat for us. But I think what we need to do is, we need to have more of these rescue boats so that, because we are surrounded by water anyway. My question to the panel is this. All these people watching us when we have this capsize, if you are a skipper on a boat that is dead, are we supposed to go and help? That is my question, okay? Number one. Number two, I think our PPCDL syllabus, there are things that are not taught that we experience as water, like Max was saying, a lot of things experienced. PPCDL in our license will not talk about, in the event if you have a problem in the sea, how to act. This is not part of the syllabus. Like my boat, my friend, my neighbors, but I was living here for 8 years on this small island. So we go out to sea so often. His boat, the engine died, and somebody who doesn't know, we are about to hit a rock, and one guy tried to use the leg to kick away. The leg will break. You should use a stick to push away. So, but these things are not taught in the basic PPCDL syllabus. And you only can learn through experience, like what we said. So these are the 2 points I want to bring.
Maybe we have an MPA, put it on the spot.
Yeah, I think there is no doubt we should help.
Practice good seamanship.
Yeah, good seamanship, yes. And this one, no doubt, yeah, we should help. Help means without endangering yourself. Okay, not do something that you are in danger, no. So, is help whatever is possible. And important thing is, we have already discussed is emergency response plan, risk assessment. Before you go for boating, you have your risk assessment. You know that this can happen, or not know if potential scenario is this. So you are ready for it, and your action plan is already there, and you have decided to go for that action. And in case of any emergency, you can activate your emergency response plan.
My crew and I, my name is Alec Wing from the Singapore Paddle Club, so I need to and that day we had an organized race, obviously we've filed everything with the MPA, and Michael and a group of people were providing support for us. And unfortunately, the captain did not read the water in support and in safety boat properly, and had to toss the beer. But the fact of the matter is that I'm the safety officer. It wasn't until I got back to land that I found out that there was an incident that involved the safety boat. But my point here is more about in the rush of getting everyone to safety and jump in the water, the beer was lost. I think that the crew on board, by the way, the boat was owned by a Singapore Airlines captain. So next. But I think that there was no use of a VHF radio to go for me, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So if that was the case, right, I was wondering whether any boaters who were within that surrounding area who would have heard the radio would have approached and rendered assistance. That's my question. Visually, if you look at someone in the water, sometimes we are kayaking, you may think that we are just doing that because it's part of the drill or whatever, we just do our thing, right? So we don't get assistance, but you know, visually, so that could be the case. But if someone's calling on the VHF radio for Mayday, right, would you approach? That's the question, or the mindset.
PCDL also. Maybe I pose a question to the panel. Safety, is it trainable or is it educational?
Nurture or nature, right? Anyone? Safety, nurture or nature?
Sir, can I just comment? I come from a different country.
Yes. Can we get a mic to, yeah.
There is a very great emphasis away from legislation. And the call sign of the Royal Yachting Association, which is the body in the UK, is education, not legislation. And I think what you're doing today is a fantastic thing. It's getting the people on the water, but it needs to be followed up from not just forums, but it's that education. I think your comment about PPCDL, I very much believe in PPCDL. I think it's a good thing, but to me, it is a license to go and learn. It is not a license to operate.
Attitude, right? An attitude to me, I cannot change your attitude overnight. You're given, when you are trained, you're given a limited time. Within that limited time, I've got to transform you in your skills, in your knowledge, and attitude. But it cannot be done within 2.5 days, right? Now, when I break down attitude, what is important is observance of good seamanship. What do you understand by good seamanship? Common sense. Okay? One of the first things I always ask at the start, put them in the correct frame. Do you let go your ropes first or you start your engine during the test? What's your answer? Start engine, because you need control, safety. Because your PPC there is nothing but safety, safety, safety. Right? That is common sense. Then we go next to courtesy. I like the word being considerate. The synonym being considerate. To whom? To what? First to whom? Michael? To whom? Being considerate out there. We have a different culture out there. To fellow seafarers. So I'm very disappointed that nobody stopped to help. They're not practicing good seamanship, observance of good seamanship.
Send email.
Okay, we are concentrating to people, fellow seafarers. To what? What should you be considerate in today's context?
Consider your mother-in-law.
Be serious, huh? We are very concerned now about ESG. What is ESG? Sustainability, right? E is environment. So be considerate to your environment. Once you're a good boater out there, you are very considerate to your environment also. You don't kill whatever we have, right? I added in my third important factor for good seamanship, and it's called, all those who have been around, I coin it as being KS, or Kiasi, Kiasu, okay? If you are Kiasu, Kiasi, you go out safe, you come back safe. I illustrate one, huh? Can you drop your anchor and you know how around Singapore? Yeah. There's a very good reason. One, you're caring for your marine life. Don't destroy the corals. All around Singapore, you've got power lines. I'm saying why, but let's be serious. I'm serious about it. Alright. You drop anchor, you damage the power line, macro, internet lines.
He's the one
you cannot escape.
sail around Singapore. He's the one, that's why he's looking at him.
Firu?
Can I stop here?
Firu?
Yes,
No.
Perspective, instead of saying care for the environment, care for, just think for your loved ones. When you go out to sea, be accountable, think of your loved ones, like what Karen says, go out, have a lesser ego. Ego breeds a lot of addictions. You may be the type who likes to drink, then you end up drinking a lot. A lot of times we've seen a lot of water drinking also, right? Or you got ego people who are diving instructors, we have to train. Even in Malaysia, they train, they go out, they dive, they just anchor the boat, bring the people down there, and they don't have somebody up there to watch. So ego, right? So we need to tone down this. Then sometimes, you know, when you drive on the road, right? I'm not a pilot, huh? But on the road, sometimes you think of your loved ones. Be accountable.
Emergency, I learned everything around me. But I have a confession to make. Because I did not apply to MPA for sea sports activity for the past 8 years. I crossed the channel to Lazarus, ocean craft, whatever craft, stand-up paddleboarding, and one of the worst things that these are people with neurodiversity. They do not understand the sea, but they love the sea. So my point here is that I just want to make a clarification regarding the part where you mentioned that we need to make an application to run any sea sports activities. Alright, I'm so sorry I break the rules. But maybe can we define clearly what you mean by application to MPA, because you need to do sea sports activities. So I'm doing almost every week 2 to 3 times. I think MPA is going to be very busy. So maybe we need to define that activity in terms of writing in. Is it a one-time activity? Is it a whatever that we are doing, where you're going to have a regatta, then we make an application or whatsoever? All right, and that's my first point that I want to seek a clarification. Number two, in the state of emergency, etc., and go there, it is only human to be part of the rhythm of nature that when you see somebody in need, what will you do? You lay a helping hand. And instead of emergency also, when you need to go to the toilet, what do? You find a place to let go, man. Correct? You gotta go to toilet, you gotta do something out of the sea, right? You gotta do something, right? So in the state of that, just to answer your question, in the state of panic and all that, when you are not panicked, then you do something about it. It's only human, it's only within us that you will try to do something. Why? Because we develop in that way. See, so when you are panicked, there will be somebody who's not panicked. Just lay the hand. It's normal. It's very natural because we impart that.
Normally it's not involved with one craft, in a group, maybe more than 4 or 5 or more than one, I should say. And it is the activities, regatta or some other activities, sailing or other activities. So I think here you need to understand why do you need to apply permit. I think maybe we have to explain a little more on this. Okay, when we apply permit and you got approval, it is recorded. We inform other government agencies, we inform other stakeholders, other people around. So during our patrol duties, we always look for all the activities what is happening. Okay, so we can help you also in case of any emergency. So it really helps you basically when you apply and you get the approval, and we are aware of it, and we can monitor and then monitor not to find fault, I can say. It is also in case of any emergency, we know that this is happening there, so we are aware, and so we can take relevant actions. We can do safety broadcast also, navigation safety broadcast NPA can do. So these are the main reasons. So if you can see
early. Apply very early. It takes time. Yes, it takes time. They will reply, it just takes time.
So for your case, if you do every week, you apply once and then you give a start date.
Yeah, exactly. If it's a set piece, actually it's quite standard. But if every time you change the formula, then it will be a new application. Yeah, but must apply. Yes, Kamus, sorry.
Yeah, my name is Mustafa. I'm Marine Consultant. Right, regarding Michael's story, I don't know how long ago it was, but you can see the new generation police coast guard boats and SCDL boats. They have by the side the stairs to recover men overboard. The new generation ones, yeah, the swordfish, the new ARA class PCG boats, they have. So rest assured, they can.
It is very interesting to attend this. This is my first time directly involved with this pleasure craft community. I think it's very useful and helpful. The transport safety investigation TSIB is under Ministry of Transport. It's an independent conducting safety investigation. So why I chosen this time to sign up here is because partially of our applications looking at the pleasure craft accident as well. Although not all cases we investigate, we have some exemption cases based on the regulations. So just now we mentioned the case, the half craft and the pleasure craft case. We are looking into that. So far we already quite a lot of information, and once later we have something we will share next time, but I can see a lot of things we can learn from that. Okay. So in general, not talking about this case, in general, maybe I just want to ask or raise up one point for awareness. We are talking about the ego, and we just want to talk about it. I like the Max mentioned the Superman. So that all is from the human element point of view. So I'm not sure whether how many of you really, when you decided to sail the boat out, boat outside, how much you think about the fitness.
Sorry, fitness, is it?
Fitness, yes. Your physical and your mind's conditions. Because that is very important. Many people will think, say, I'm okay, I can go, but learn it not only from the pleasure craft point of view, you learn from other craft. There's many times continuous running for the day and especially overnight. Have you thought about it? That means you are navigating somewhere which is mixing with the other ship. Big, small, fast, slow, all kinds of ship. You are not really in one confined area, it's really only all the pleasure craft, but you are mixing with all. Have you thought about it? You may consider yourself fit, or you may go to the morning. Think about body clock. Many cases happen, you work the whole day, you decided to have a night vision, or to have a relaxed time during the night, right? So, because of body clock, especially during early morning time, we call it a circadian rhythm downtime. So this is very often the cases happen when our alertness, when our physical or mental or mind, it is considerable, is low. So during that time when you sail out, you involving with small craft, hard craft, big ship and GP, especially when you crossing the anchorages and then you going on the fairways. Have you thought about it? Not only yourself, other ship. Because you may take some action, or other boat or big ship take some action, which you are not aware. You are not there. I'm not sure how many of you have some kind of a system on board which you can visible see other ship movements. We talk a lot of VHF. VHF not only you report something, but you also hear something. The boats, especially the small size, they are not aware what is happening in the vicinity, the surrounding when they move. Think about the fitness when you, especially you want to take the night trip.
Yes, all these are the elements where it comes with education. Like what Captain Henry was talking about, yes.
Heroes, I used to be in the industry, the pleasure craft industry, maybe more than 15 years ago, I think. Just like to reinforce what the captain is saying about fatigue, fitness. It has been a trend I've been observing from my experience going on riverboat and also on charter yacht. I used to be a charter yacht skipper too. It's a fatigue whereby the pleasure craft industry do not have to comply with MLC. So the rest period, we always take it for granted. You find the crew going on an overnight cruise or overnight charter cruise on arrival at daylight. The guest wants to go diving, want to launch or jet skis and all that. The crew are always impaired by fatigue. I've been observing this and nothing has changed since maybe 15 years ago. I think this is an accident waiting to happen. I agree with the captain was saying. We have to seriously consider this in the pleasure craft industry. Just give me a few more minutes.
Sure, sir. Yes. We are last 12 minutes to go.
Our brother Scott's incidents, regarding the incident, he was saying this is what Max has been emphasizing regarding the checks on arrival and all that. So perhaps it's a good idea, in addition to the kill switch, I assume the small boat, it's always good before arrival. One good thing I noticed what you say during the incident is safe speed, the captain mentioned. It was not applied, the safe speed. And second, regarding the checklist, arrival checklist, they should have at least tested the engine, hitting ahead and astern. After going at the safe speed. And I'm still upset that they jettisoned that case of beer.
The environment. Thank you, sir. Environment suffer, yeah. Okay.
RSPC. I have a question about the speed limit you mentioned this morning. Does it apply only for pleasure crafts or for harbor crafts and commercial as well?
No, it applies for all craft.
Okay. From observation at RSPC, those harbor crafts, they every other month crash into our breakwater and then they speed off like the devil is behind them. Maybe you should have some of the stuff like this for the commercial operators as well to let them know what the speed limits are and the regulations.
Yeah, normally we highlight during even the Harborcraft community safety briefing also, and here. So normally we do highlight this speed limit. Yeah.
I got a reply from PCG and PCG is going to keep quiet. Okay, so it's quite interesting. But anyway, speed limits apply to everybody. Please comply with speed limits. They are there for a reason. They're not meant to protect you. They're meant to protect everybody else who's walking around the area. Okay, so my request, please, if you're in the EJS or anywhere else, please comply with speed limits. Okay, other people need to work in that area safely. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, morning. Infidel here. I'm actually in the safety space, generic safety space, not just the leisure craft industry. So, circling back to the nurture versus nature, the thing is that everyone has been nurtured to be quick, to do things quickly, to be efficient, right? And that eventually becomes nature, right? So the question is, how can we actually retrain those who are already trained, right? That's the first thing, yeah? Idea would be the older Singaporeans, right? Remember the courtesy lion teaching us how to be courteous? So some kind of this kind of a movement are probably required to retrain the training. Second is a trick question. Okay. What if by asking for approval, MPA doesn't approve? Better not to know, right?
Sorry, you expect to have an answer to that question?
No, your first thing is the training. You say training, right? Learning is never teach. Safety is everyone's responsibility, and it never ends. You cannot say I'm safe, so I don't need any safety instructor or any safety officer. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, it is a continual improvement. It never ends. It's always there.
The retraining of the trained people. We are trained to do things faster, more efficiently, and safety is always the next thing to worry about. Same as quality.
I guess earlier on there's quite a bit of talk about emergency, definition of emergency. So I was just wondering if I had an emergency at sea. I mean, who is the ambulance? I mean, you mentioned about on land you have, ambulance sending to A&E department, but in the sea, actually, who is the ambulance? I guess earlier on I heard there's SCDF, but are they the official ambulance? That's one question. My second question is, I think Captain Farouk, you mentioned there's 2 safety forums conducted at least every year. As far as I can recall, I think I've attended this forum a few times over the years, but it's always once a year. Yeah, I've never known there's a second one in a year.
Okay, normally we conduct 2 times a year, but we'll check it out, this one. Okay, and our intention is to conduct 2 times a year. So that is your second question, as you said. And your first question, yes, SCDF is assigned government agency for rescue. So if you are at sea, you have an emergency, you please call 24/7 Port Marine Safety. And if you call, depends on the nature of emergency, the Port Marine Safety will call PCG and SCDF accordingly to provide necessary assistance.
Do you want to do the correct?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Shani from SCDF, right? Just to clarify, we are not so-called sea ambulance. So any emergency, I think the contact point, like what they showed earlier, is still the MPA. And then, however, whenever there is a need for high rescue, there's difficulty for whatever because we have the EMT, we also have the rescue capability. So rescue can definitely we will respond, but we are not the sea ambulance. We will not be as nearby DCG boat or FPA boats. Yeah, because we are not patrolling at the sea.
So the answer is still call MPA. MPA will assign the nearest, government vessel to do the correct job. Yeah. And they have EMTs on board. If they are nearby, they can do the help. Otherwise, whoever's nearby. And of course, we have our National Volunteer, Shane, what's it called? SSVP, Safer Seas Volunteer Program.
Please call MP. That is, I think we make it very clear. Please do not call 995 or 999. So please call MPA. MPA, we will keep on communicating with you basically for all the help required.
Besides that, I'm also a Singapore flag surveyor, for YMCA. So just want to question to MPA. So we have checklists for Singapore flag delivery certificate. So most of the time we are more focused on the safety and the fighting kind of things. Of course, our first point is the culture. So every time I face the owner or the person in charge, they're very reluctant. They just want to make sure the inspection pass and have to do a lot of education to them. It's not about that just pass, and it is so the education must come, culture also must come. But the question to you, there are a lot of other things we missed out. That look at the car. People, everyone used to drive the car. They never check it. Now they just jump in the car and start the key and move out. They don't check because of the road rescue and emergency is not that critical, but not see. So the lot of checks are missing, especially equipment and how integrity and how things here. So look at some other country like Australia, and I've been in Australia, so Australia need to be an extensive check in order to pass the craft license, and it's not actually by the authority, it's also following the insurance. Insurance is must need to have a survey report at certain level in order to issue the insurance, then the authority will pass and issue the license. So are you looking into that direction to get them ready? Why it's coming to my mind that here that steering suddenly fail and it's turned to the 90 degree or something, it's dangerous. So why it is ignored, and certain captain or owner, they can't go and detail inspection and understand the situation.
Okay, maybe I just want to say something more here. Always, I think you should remember that Act, regulation, and government agencies, all these requirements are minimum requirement. Okay, so you have to take this in your mind that it's a minimum requirement. Doesn't mean that I must follow only this. So maintenance of the craft or any vessel, basically, we cannot say this is only required by registry, so I just only do this and not do anything more than that. So it doesn't work that way. Normally, we should do all types of preventive maintenance, which is directed by the manufacturer or the manual, what is stated basically. So you have to do preventive maintenance, which is the company's responsibility to ensure that necessary preventive maintenance are done regularly to ensure any breakage.
Survey, and they are meant to go for 5 years annual survey and 5 year survey. But the pressure craft is not such a thing. Yeah. So the point I said before, even the basic safety, the owner doesn't want to pass the inspection. So if I point out something else, they will come back and argue with me. That's not in the checklist. Why need to do that? It's working fine and it's right. So this is the challenge I am facing in the front line.